What's up? I said I was gonna come back. Oh shit. I said I was gonna come back. SAP Diddy. Oh, take that, take that, take that, take that. What's up, man? I said I was gonna come back. Ask me some therapist stuff, man. I'm doing good. How are you? I'm doing good. Tap the screen, the likes up, please. I know I'm kind of late. It's probably late where you are, but I know I said I was going to come back, and I'm keeping my word, even though I am 30 minutes late. But my anger management session lasted at the time it was supposed to. Hey, Stephanie. My anger management session for couples. It was for couples. It was a couple. It's barely 8 where you are. It sounds like you're in Cali or somewhere on the West Coast. Yeah, I have an anger management session for couples. I do more than just teach firearms. I teach other stuff in the anger management, parenting space area. What's going on? Do me a favor, keep tapping, keep tapping, keep tapping, keep tapping. Please get those likes up, please, please, poor favor. Ask me therapist stuff. I'm not answering nothing about gun stuff. Respectfully. Don't take my tone for aggression, because it's not. But I'm not answering anything about gun stuff, because life is more than just guns. Does that make sense? Life is more than just guns, people. If that's all you know is guns and you know no peace, then I don't know what to tell you. But life is more than just gun stuff. Watch the numbers go down. I don't want to talk about nothing else but gun stuff. You said it was nice talking today? Yeah, that's why I came back live, because I said I was going to do that. Oh, I forgot to change the battery. You're right about that. I don't go crazy with it. I'm just going to change it. You're right about that. It has been. It'll go off in a little bit. Sorry about that. What would you say to law enforcement officers who are traumatized by the things that they see? That's a great question. Shit happens. What are you going to do? Not work? What are you going to do? Not see it? Things happen. Yeah, I mean, I guess you need somebody to talk to process it. Things happen. I don't suggest that law enforcement officers go see a therapist. What? So they can help you stay in your feelings? People die. Accidents look messed up. Accidents look messed up. Well, how do I process it? The same way doctors do when they look at trauma. They don't get a... I mean, does that make sense? The best type of... You said it's been a minute, am I losing weight? Yeah, I'm losing weight. You said doctors have a therapist. Whatever. Not the doctors I know. They're like, look, we deal with trauma every day. We know it. You said all doctors have a... You don't even know all doctors. Go somewhere. You don't even notice all doctors. You don't even know all doctors. All doctors have therapists. You don't even know all doctors. If you knew all doctors, you wouldn't even be here. All doctors have therapists. All doctors don't have therapists. Did I go to BCU? No. I just answered your question. Stop asking that question again before I block you. How do you get someone to not feel attacked all the time over a simple conversation? Here's what I suggest. I encourage you to do. No, we're not talking about him. I gotta block somebody. There we go. There you go. Good. Got it. There we go. Good. Okay. Had to block somebody. Moving on. How do you get someone to not feel attacked all the time over a simple conversation? One, understand that you can't not get someone to do anything. They're going to do what they're going to do. The question is, should I continue to have a conversation with this person? Does that make sense? Not everybody qualifies for your conversation. Right. Not everybody qualifies for your conversation. Sometimes you could be having a conversation with a person who doesn't have the FBA, foundation, building, and antenna. What you are saying or what you are putting out there has a high level of output of information. And this person has to have the knowledge, skill, ability, competence, and confidence and the mindset to be able to receive it. If their antenna is a Radio Shack antenna, but you're sending satellite signals out to that antenna and it's not receiving it, you're just causing conflict. So what I like to do is I like to ask the person, what are the 5 most recent self-help books that you have read regarding this thing? And tell me one thing that you might have learned from each of those self-help books. If they can engage me in that conversation, it lets me know if they're even on that level to even having that kind of conversation. Does that make sense? I'm just saying, because not everybody qualifies for your words. Not everybody qualifies for your conversation. You ask, I'm going to answer some of your other questions, so just hang tight, y'all. Here we go. Thank you for the gift. Appreciate it. You said, what are some traits to an outstanding leader, and could you give an examples of some? Traits to an outstanding leader. I'll tell you this. One of the things that I like is about John C. Maxwell, his book, The 360-Degree Leader. 360-Degree Leader. I'm going to answer your question, Melvie, in a minute. 360-Degree Leader, learning how to lead up, down, and across the spectrum to your peers, up to your leaders, and down to the so-called subordinates or people who are your direct reports, if you will. There are so many traits that are in that book that I'm going to try to name at least one. You definitely need to work on your influence that you have regarding others and other people. I strongly suggest a good leadership trait is understanding people, understanding the inner child that may rest in people, understanding how to communicate with them. Every problem has an industry. Every industry has a culture. Every culture has a language. Communicate in the areas that you are knowledgeable in. Be honest about what you're not knowledgeable in, and have the relationships and the resources to be able to shift your people. So if somebody says change the smoke detector battery, which I already know to do, I'm just going to block you. So I'm going to give you one time, Mike. Say it again, I'm just going to block you. For some reason, that's a thing in the red pill community, to dip on people who don't change their smoke detector battery. It gets changed when the fuck it gets changed. Moving on. Leadership, one of the leadership qualities, instead of, hold on for a minute, hang tight 1 minute. Understanding that the inner child within that person needs to be cultivated in order for you to even be able to have influence within that person. And we all have an inner child. You know, some we're tapped in, some we're not tapped in, stuff like that. So there's a lot. There's a lot of leadership traits that a person would need to have. First of all, before going in and making any change, you actually observe what is actually going on in that organization before you try to just step in and make change. You know, that's one of the things I learned in the Army. There's so much. There's so much. So that could be a whole live right there. A whole live on just leadership traits. And I would need to put them. Don't shame people. Didn't I say I was going to block somebody if somebody said that? So, there we go. If you want to get blocked, just say, change the smoke detector battery, and then I'll grant your request of blocking you. Because I'm going to change it when I change it. And that doesn't happen all the time, but it is happening right now. And I don't have the battery for it, so I get it tomorrow. But say change the battery, and then I'm just going to block you. Moving on. I mean, my block list gets big, so I don't care. Here we go. Let's see. Southside Unicorn, what's going on? Scott Diesel, you said, I really struggle with people please. Oh, yes. Taylor Lynn, outstanding question. I really struggle with people pleasing and not wanting to seem like a failure. Any tips? 25-year-old mom, Taylor Lynn, you are going to love this. Here we go. One of the things that I suggest that you do, or I encourage you to do, is to work on this. Shame. Okay? When we, and I'm gonna let this go so I can see your comments. Shame. Okay? We gotta work on this. Okay? Let's define what shame is. Matter of fact, let me see if I got a 9-volt battery. That shit's getting on my nerves too. Hold on. Nah, that shit's about to die. It's not gonna work. I don't have a 9-volt battery, so it's gonna be going off, okay? I don't like that noise again. I don't want to take the battery out so y'all can be quiet. But if I take the battery out, then it doesn't do anything at all. Right? Here we go. Shame. We gotta work on shame. Taylor, what do you think shame means? Stephanie, the tongue test? Yes. I'm still going to do it. You know, whatever. I got a bass guitar. It operates off a 9-volt battery. You said guilt? Okay. So let's define what shame means. Because one of the things that I help my clients do is we play a game called what you think it means versus what it actually means. What you think it means versus what it actually means. So you think shame means guilt. Shame doesn't mean guilt. Shame is, here we go, a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. So why did I separate it like this? I separate it like this so you can dissect it. I'm glad you screenshotted it. A painful feeling. No, you're fine, Taylor. That's okay. You're fine. A painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness. Who is responsible when you are a baby and a child for the consciousness? The consciousness is defined as the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings. So who's responsible for the child's state of being awake and aware of your surroundings? Those who are in your surroundings. You first develop your sense of the consciousness from your parent or parents and the immediate family members around you. Okay? If you times that by 3,153,600 minutes, how did I get to that time? I'll explain. You got 24 hours in a day. You have 8 hours for rest, 8 hours for school, and then you have 8 hours at home. So we're only talking about the 8 hours at home because that's where you are the most. Times that, well, if you take the hours, how many minutes are there in an hour? 60 minutes. 60 minutes times 8 hours times 365 days times 18 years. That equals 3,153,600 minutes of shame that you might have been exposed to, which is the painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. When you look at the word fail, because you said the word fail, right? Let's look at the definition of fail. And I did not make a card for that because this is a new box that I'm creating. That's okay. We're gonna look that up. Let's look at the word fail. Fail definition. Fail definition. The definition of the word fail simply means be unsuccessful in achieving one's goal. That's it. If the dictionary did not attach an emotion to it, then someone had to give you an emotion about it. I'll say it again. The definition of fail means be unsuccessful in achieving one's goal. It didn't attach an emotion to it. So if it attached an emotion or a feeling to it, someone gave it to you and told you and taught you that you should feel this way when you do this thing. Someone gave you the boot to kick your own butt. My childhood and religious trauma. Yes. Religion can definitely make you feel horrible for your behavior without teaching you how to do this thing. Does that make sense? When you look at the word fault, let's look at something else. Because again, we have to redefine what someone else taught us. I agree, Taylor. I'm the same way. I have a wonderful relationship with God. Religion, I push away. Okay? When you look at certain things like fault versus mistakes, Taylor, what word have you heard the most? It's your fault, or that's okay, you just made a mistake. Which one did you hear the most? Which one did you hear the most? You heard mistake? Okay. Let's look at the word fault versus mistake. Some of you all said it's your fault. Okay. Here we go. An unattractive or unsatisfactory feature, especially in a piece of work or in a person's character. Verb, criticize for inadequacy or mistakes. Sometimes we got to be careful of the words that we use because there are two primary emotions, love and fear. So if you use the word fault triggers the feeling of fear. Children have no other choice but to work with emotions because they are naturally born with them. We all are. And so when you use the word fault or you use mistake that makes it sound like fault, you're actually triggering fear in that child. And no human being can learn what they need to learn when they are afraid. But when you look at the word, here we go, mistake, and then you actually break down the word miss, and then take, here we go, miss. It is a prefix. applied to various parts of speech, meaning ill, mistaken, wrong, wrongly, or incorrectly. That doesn't sound bad. That just sounds like something worth training you over for, because you're going to make mistakes. Take, it is a verb. There are many definitions to that, but the one that's relevant in this context is number 6. Make, undertake, or perform. And when you combine it, make, undertake, or perform ill, mistaken, wrong, wrongly, or incorrectly. So what does that mean? You've made a mistake. It was an action or a judgment that is simply misguided or wrong. If you are taught to feel bad about that, that's because someone has projected their pain and suffering onto you. You should feel no shame for making a mistake. If you were misguided, it only makes sense that you're going to make a mistake or fail. If the dictionary doesn't say you should feel bad, you should not feel bad. It is as it is defined. That's it. Stoic philosophers Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca said it's usually not the thing, it's what we think the thing is. We think the thing is so because our consciousness was given to us by someone else who either was misguided, miseducated, hurt, uneducated, just don't know, had you to find themselves. And so as we begin to grow older, hopefully we find ourselves in the company of people like or better than me who can help you redefine things, because our world perspective may be the result of someone else's misguidance. I'm going to read you this. I got to get this. Hold on. Hang tight. Hang tight. I got to show you this. Hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. It's in my book. Here we go. I got it bookmarked. Bam. Here we go. This is the book, How Children Succeed. I got it bookmarked here. In the book, Learned Optimism. Here we go. Siegelman wrote that for most people, depression was not an illness, as most psychologists believed, but simply a severe low mood that occurred when we harbor pessimistic beliefs about the causes of our setbacks. If you want to avoid depression and improve your life, Siegelman counseled, you need to refashion your explanatory style to create a better story about why good and bad things happen to you. I 100% believe that. People put themselves in a depressive state because they don't know the true definition of shame. Shame is a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. What you think of yourself because what someone else told you you are, which is not true. It was a projection of what they feel about themselves, and they pushed it onto you. And you didn't know how to get yourself out of it because they don't know how to get themselves out of their mess. It's not your fault. It's what you were taught. It's not your fault. It's what you were taught. You have value. You matter. Whatever mistreatment, misguidance, miseducation you received, you did not deserve it, but give your parents grace. What is the difference between grace and forgiveness? Forgiveness is something you give to someone if you choose to, when you've done the analysis of if they knew how to do, not you assuming they know how to do, if you knew how to do, and after having known how to do, you still hurt me anyway. Once you make penance or repent or apologize, I can forgive you. But if I do the analysis that you don't know what you're doing, I can't forgive you because there's nothing left to forgive. You made a mistake. You did something that did hurt, but you were misguided. So how could you properly guide me? I give you grace, for you knew not what to do. Thank you, Brian. Does that make sense? You got to understand the difference between grace or forgiveness. Sometimes people say, hold on, just got to sit here and mute you. Got it. Here we go. Got it. Here we go. That's all I'm saying. Now, you asked a question about antidepressants. Here we go. I take antidepressants and I feel maybe if I redefine my thoughts, I wouldn't need them anymore. You don't need the antidepressants. You just have to reframe your thinking and then see people for who they are and ask yourself these questions. What do I expect from them, and what are the reasons I expect? Do they have this to give to me? If they don't have it to give, does it make sense for me to expect? Sometimes we expect people to give us the love they don't have. Sometimes we expect us to give people the love that they don't even have to give. They barely give themselves love. So does it make sense for us to reasonably expect? Yes. Unrealistic expectations fuel unrealistic emotions. Unrealistic emotions fuels irrational behavior. I'll say it again. And don't get me wrong, you have the right to expect. It just should be realistic. You have the right to feel. It should just feel realistic. Does that make sense? Your behavior makes sense if it's rational. Sometimes we do irrational things. Does it make sense? Your behavior doesn't make sense because you expected this person to love you, but they don't have love. So if they don't have love, they can't get earth, wind, and fire. You can't give what you never had. You say, don't give me the singing. It's not this show. But you can't give what you never. I'm gonna take this battery out. I don't want y'all talking shit about this battery. Hang tight for a minute. Bam. God rest your soul. All right, there we go. I'll put it back in there shortly. All right, here we go. Yes, if you don't know how to love, how do we expect someone who hasn't received love to suddenly know how to love because we want love? How do we expect a person to give to us what we don't give to ourselves? Joshua, you said, what's the difference between grace and forgiveness? I'll give you an example. I'm not a religious person, but the stories of the Bible, I was born and raised in the church, so I remember them. When Jesus was dying on the cross, the Romans were doing what they were doing, poking at his side, prodding him and making him die. It was going to take some time. But what did he turn to God and say? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Actually, he means give them grace, for they know not what they do. Let's analyze this. Sometimes a person can hurt you and not know they are hurting you for hurt's sake. I'll explain. God, Dad, you see them down here doing this to me. You know you got them doing this to me. You got me dying for the sins of man, the sins of people I will never meet. If I am to carry out your work and you are using them to hurt me to carry out your work, you can't hold it against them. They don't know your master plan. You gotta give them grace. They don't know what they're doing. So if God, if Jesus the Christ, as he is dying, can be big of a person to ask him to forgive them for intentionally hurting because it's a part of this master plan, who are we not to forgive others who've hurt us without us asking, wait a minute, what they did hurt. I don't excuse the behavior. The hurt did hurt. But did they really know what they were doing? We acknowledge the pain. We don't excuse the behavior. But did they know what they were doing? Like, let's talk facts. You expected your baby mama to be there and love you, but she only wanted babies. And she didn't know another way to get them except through sex and through the semen. You may not understand that she's trying to create a family because she's missing her family. You expect your baby daddy to be emotionally available for you, but you didn't listen because you didn't have the ears of discernment to know what it meant when he told you about all the times his parents told him you ain't gonna be. You didn't analyze if he had the qualifications to be a father. Just because he has sex with you, that's a different skill set. You can't apply the sex skill set to the parenting skill sets. Those are two different jobs. Not every porn star makes a good parent. Not every porn star makes a good parent. Oh, he could break your back out. No shame, no judgment. I promise. No shame, no judgment. Those are two different skill sets. That's all that I'm saying. Does that make sense? That's all that I'm saying. Hey, Tiffany, I'm glad you did the 5 miles. I saw that. I was deep in thought, but I saw your comment. You could keep going. You could do it. You can do it. We're not shaming. We're not judging. Right? But we got to be honest. Sometimes we expect people to do things that they don't have the knowledge, skill, ability, capacity, confidence, competence to do. And that's a hard pill to swallow. You signed a person up for a job without seeing if they're qualified. It's easy to blame somebody else when we simply made a what? Mistake. And do you have the patience for that person's evolution? I had a beautiful anger management session for couples tonight. And I got this couple that comes back consistently. This is their third week. I haven't had to remind them. I hadn't had to send notification. They come back on time. They've been consistent. And boy, have they been doing the work. That session's only supposed to last an hour. It lasted 2.5 hours. That's why I didn't start this live at 9:30. Oh, the admissions they made, man, it's absolutely beautiful. I believe in them. I believe in them. I believe in them. Hey, Big Mike, what's going on? Joshua, you said, can I go deeper into anger management? Give me a specific, because that's a lot. You want me to give you a definition of anger? According to the National Anger Management Association, anger is a psychobiological social state of emotions or feelings varying in intensity from mild irritation to deep intensity and rage, coupled with the neuroendocrine processes and the activation of the autonomic nervous system. That was a lot. So you got to give me something specific, because I'll give you definitions already. Right? Give me something specific. You said, why is it hard to tell my parents I love them? Have they shown you love? And this is no shame. This is a no shame room. You won't be shamed here. It may be hard for you. First of all, let me explain something to you this, Brady. You have the right to love who you want to love. You don't have to love your parents. That's a thing called forced emotion. That's a thing called forced emotion. You don't have to love who you... Look, here's another conversation we're about to have. You ready? Here we go. Here we go. Respect. What do you think the word respect means? What do you think the word respect means? Respect. See, I hope you're still here. I'm having a brain fart. Here we go. I hope you're still here, Taylor. Here we go. Yeah, I see you're still here. Respect. Respect is a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something in reaction to their abilities, qualities, or achievement. You said to value another person's boundaries and treat them right. Trail, this is a game that I play called What You Think It Means versus what it actually means. We have been taught respect wrong. We have been taught respect so that someone who wanted their feelings, they wanted to find their feelings of the self through you, the child. Children who are not allowed to own their feelings become child parent pleasers, who then become adult people pleasers, who are never allowed to own their own feelings of deep admiration, which is just a strong like for someone or something in reaction to their abilities, qualities, or achievements, which means if any one of these things disappears, guess what is also likely to disappear? That feeling of deep admiration. Here we go. But what's crazy is my parents would say, Taylor, tell me what's on your mind. I felt free to speak, but I have all this trauma. May I encourage you regarding one thing? Your parents could have been like a percentage of therapists. A percentage of therapists are feelings validators. Feelings validators. You express how you feel and they tell you 1, of two or three things. One, that you have the right to your feelings. Two, maybe how to manage your feelings. And three, that you should own your feelings without validation. But here's the problem that I have with the percentage of therapists. When you say what the issue is, that is a problem that needs to be solved. Every problem, I call this the pickle analysis. The pickle, P-I-C-L, P-I-C-L, pickle analysis. Here we go. Every problem has an industry. Every industry has a culture, sociologically, right? And of the 5 elements of culture is language. So when you are communicating what your problem is, you are speaking in a language that the therapist may not understand. They may not understand what that language even means. So the best they can do to save the self, because some people become helpers because they need to be needed. Some people become helpers because they need to be needed. And so instead of telling you, I don't know if I'm qualified to help you in this because I hear what you're saying, but I don't understand what industry this belongs to. Let me be secure enough to take the rejection of not being needed and put you in front of somebody who's better able and qualified to help you get the answer. See, insecure parents want their children to need them all the time because it gives them a sense of purpose or a sense of worth. Insecure parents don't create relationships with other people because they have separation anxiety. So to create relationships with other people bumps up against their need to always need you. So you get robbed of valuable information because they need your presence. Just like a percentage of therapists. A percentage of therapists need to be needed. So they're not going to tell you that they can't help you with your issues. They are going to keep on validating your feelings. See, the one thing that we tell people in our anger management education sessions is that when your voice has been denied for so long, talking feels like help because you feel like you're getting it out. But every problem has an industry. Every industry has a culture. And every culture has a language. And if your therapist hears the problem, but they don't understand the language of your problem, if they are a selfish therapist, they'll try to keep you because, one, they're getting paid. And two, here we go. As long as you're willing to come back and continue to talk, I'm willing to listen. Because you're going to talk so much, you're going to talk through that hour, and you're not going to even recognize that you're not getting your problem solved or not solved. You're not going to recognize it because you feel like you're relieving pressure. It's a pressure valve, and you're just talking, but you're not getting any real solutions except being heard. And being heard is important, but so is solving the problem. See, the type of educator that I am, and I'm in that track to finish my doctorate in community care and counseling with a cognate in traumatology, child and adolescent traumatology, the type of educator I would be in that space is an Adlerian educator. How many of you all know Alfred Adler? See, I do the work of Alfred Adler, John Bowlby, Erik Erikson, Abraham Maslow, Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. Oh, I like to help you reframe things so you can move forward. Yes, getting to the root causes of the problem. See, etiology looks at causation. Teleology is helping you solve that problem so you don't need me as much. I need you to need you. I need you to have the courage to be disliked. I need you to redefine things to destroy the feeling of shame, to destroy the feeling of failure. The definition of failure or fail simply means to be unsuccessful in achieving one's goal. It doesn't attach an emotion to it. So if an emotion is attached to it, someone gave it to you and told you how you should feel. Let me share with you a story. I got to share with you this story. So I am not a fan of child whoopings, but I remember the first time my mom whooped me. My mom whooped me. I remember I was in the room, I was playing with a Fisher Price school bus. We were living on the second floor in the 6700 block of Langley in Chicago. I remember the place. And my mom whooped me. And guess what I did? I laughed. Guess what my mom said? And I love my mother dearly. She has evolved. You're not supposed to laugh. You're supposed to cry. So guess what I did? Cry. I cried. Your parents are responsible for how you develop your consciousness. And then if they keep on giving you the shovel to dig into a deeper depression, you are digging a hole at your own expense. And they are just continuing to give you the shovel. Because if misery loves company, why do parents put them in the same hole that they are in? Well, if I'm down here, you're going to be here too. Why? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Now, do we shame our parents? No, we don't shame them. We have to understand that they didn't have the tools to help themselves. So, how could they help you? Is that like when your parents stay in domestic violence situations? Yes. It's something else that they are getting out of that situation where they consider the violence that they are in a cost, if you will, of staying in that thing. This is why when people tell them, you could go, you can get out of it, you don't understand what they're getting out of it. See, whenever you tell somebody they got to do something, you got to have an equal or stronger replacement. You said, how do I share love with my parents? Here's how I say this. Brady, let me make sure I got that link in the bio because I want to invite you all to my free parenting classes. Because if you all come to my free parenting classes, it's going to be by Zoom. Then if we're talking about how do I share love with my parents, you learn the qualifications of what a parent should be. You reject the societal notions that there are no books for parenting. There are a plethora of books out there and guidance as to how to be a parent that will make you 75% ready. The other 25 is figuring out your specific child. But to those of us like or better than me who study children, your child's not really special. Your child is just like every other child for the most part. There may be subtle little nuances or things here and there that separate, but that just reclassifies your child from here and puts them in a category of other children who now have this thing. You see what I'm saying? Only the parent thinks their child is special. You can't tell me about my child. I know your child better than you. That's just like going to a medical doctor. You go to a medical doctor, and provided they have no bias or other agenda, you could have five medical doctors that'll all see the same test result, and their opinions are about pretty much the same. Why? Because while they don't know you, they know bodies, they know medicine. Your body really isn't special. We've seen other people just like you. Well, it's coming, Rosie. I'll have the doctorate soon. Well, I appreciate that, Rosie. Like, we don't know you by name, but this ain't the first social we've seen. You're not the first Amy we've seen. You're not the first person with this condition that we've seen. This is like there's some things that are new. Most things, we've seen it. That's why we know it. That's why we're immune to it as much as we can be because we've seen it so much by habit. So I can tell you about your child better than you. I can help you see what you just don't see without shaming you for not seeing. The optometrist doesn't make you feel bad because you don't have glasses on. The optometrist just helps you understand your eyes and just here's a set of glasses. This is your prescription. It will change over time. Just come in, keep getting an eye examination, and we'll adjust accordingly. We don't shame you because you can't see certain things. You said, what are some traits or ways to effectively communicate? One, you have to understand what's being said. Two, you have to understand the dialect, right, of what's being said. Is just like you could recognize the Spanish language, but still don't know what they're saying. You got to take classes. You got to be willing to learn. But here's this. My specialty, traumatology. Hold on. I'm going to give you the link. I'm sorry. That's what I was trying to put in there. Let me give you the link. Good. I love it. Let me give you this link. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. I'm sorry. Give me 1 minute for the pause. I gotta get this to you. I hope that you're the one. If not, you are the prototype. Nope. Stop. You are. Why am I listening? I don't want to listen to me, fool. Okay. Yeah, it should be there. Yeah, good. Okay, tap the link in the bio. If you go out of the you need to listen to understand, not listen for a quick response. Correct. Tap the link in the bio. If you go out of this profile and tap the link in the bio, there's a Google sheet, right, where I'm collecting information to get a schedule of what works for most people so I can create the online Zoom classes. They're free for you to come to. Free for you to come to, right? Free for you to come to. So tap the link in the bio and we'll go on ahead and make that happen, okay? Taylor Lynn, I hope you come. And if you want to bring your parents to it, you're more than welcome. Yeah. You said care to elaborate on what? Traumatology? Yeah. Traumatology just seeks to understand both causation and helping a person actually find solutions for the various things that they have gone through. Does that make sense? Sometimes people don't understand behavior. I tend to understand why people do what they do behaviorally. Sometimes we have been taught to attach a judgment. Here we go. Good choice, bad choice. How many of you parents, tap the screen, get the lights up, please. How many of you parents have used good choice, bad choice? Teach you one parent thing, and I'm going to go to sleep. I got to get up in the morning. How many of you all good choice, bad choice? Okay. Allow me to encourage you to refrain from using good choice, bad choice. Please allow me to explain. All humans have two primal needs: the need to feel secure and the need to feel in control. All humans have two primal emotions. Look it up. Please don't believe me. Look it up. Love and fear. All other emotions fall under the main two categories of love and fear. please understand that when children are born, emotions are what they work with. They really don't have any other tools yet because you could give them something, but what does it mean? What they can play with it, but they're developing, they're evolving. Okay? So when we're talking about good choice, bad choice, you are thinking like you, the adult who understands gray area. You understand abstract. You know that good is very subjective, maybe. Good is very subjective. What you think that which is good may be different from what that is good. See, the Greeks have a word for good which does not assign morality to that which is good. Take, for example, criminals. When criminals or persons who commit criminal behavior, when they do things that are criminal, society may see it as bad. But that criminal may do this thing thinking it's good for them. So without any assignment of morality, which is a judgment of the behavior, that which is good for that person is good. So you're not thinking about it like a child. You're thinking about it like a you, like an adult, right? So when you say good choice and bad choice, what the child has experienced, that which is good, is love. When you say bad choice to a child, they hear fear, which also induces the feelings of what? Come on now, put the word in the comments before I put it up there. Here we go. When you say bad choice, you are making them feel shame, which is a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior when they could have simply made a mistake, an action or judgment that is misguided or wrong. Yes, what they did was wrong, but they should not be shamed for it. A mistake is something that you should teach a person through because failure is a part of success if they learn from it. And what did we do when we looked up the definition of fail? Fail simply means to be unsuccessful in achieving one's goal. That's the definition. It does not attach an emotion to the failure. So if you're making a child feel bad, that's you projecting what you think they should feel, not what they should actually be feeling, which is nothing. They shouldn't be feeling anything about the failure because failure is a part of success if you learn from it. If you look at Eric Erickson's psychosocial theory of development, the first stage is trust versus mistrust. The second stage is autonomy versus shame and doubt. If they feel that they are free to strategically fail, it'll make them want to learn more. If you don't shame them for them failing forward, they will continue to try, which is what we want them to do. It'll encourage them to want to learn more, and they can embrace failure as a part of the process. They can embrace failure as a part of the process. See, if they don't embrace failure as a part of the process, guess what other skill they won't get? Patience. If you want me to still teach it, type yes in the comments. They won't develop this. They won't get patience. Patience is defined as, here we go, the capacity to be able to tolerate or accept delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. What do I have underlined? The word capacity. Capacity is defined as the maximum amount something can contain. The maximum amount something can contain. How do you test capacity? Applications and pressure. You apply something to it. What you apply to it produces pressure that tests the capacity of that person. So then how do you train your patience? How many of you all have heard that patience is a virtue? Sound off in the comments. Okay, so let's look up patience is a virtue. Black Unicorn, I hope you're still here. Welcome. Virtue. A virtue is defined as behavior showing high moral standards. Behavior showing high moral standards. You don't get to behavior that shows high moral standards until you learn how to do a thing, when to do a thing, the reasons you should do a thing, where to do this thing, and when should I do this thing. And when you teach them something that involves process and they learn that you can't rush the process because the consequence, which is neutral, it's just the outcome of the thing done. The consequence of rushing this, it means you're going to mess it up. They learn how to be patient, when to be patient, the reasons they should be patient, where to be patient. Does that make sense? When you teach them skills, and you allow them to fail forward, you cultivate patience, which results in virtue, which is a behavior showing high moral standard. You don't get to the high moral standard until you can meet the standard. So to think that patience is a virtue and you want them to wait without teaching them is crazy. And let's talk facts. Most of your parents want you to wait in places that honestly, as a kid, you have no place being. But because your parents didn't plan better before they had you, they have you in places where you don't need to be because they didn't build relationships with people who were qualified to watch you while they take care of your business. Strike that. While they take care of adult business, while you conduct your business of play, because play is the language of children. Your growth is suppressed because your parents didn't plan for your high attention energy that you have. And because they have no friends, they have no family, they have no relationships, your growth is suppressed so that their low patience can be met. And your parents shouldn't be shamed. It's not their fault, it's what they were taught. There are a lot of kids with ADHD diagnoses who don't have ADHD. Their parents just don't have the capacity for the energy that the kid naturally came with. Your kid is naturally supposed to have all this energy. You made them go to sleep for 8+ hours. You think they're not supposed to have this energy after their batteries have been recharged? I can't speak to autism. That's a different situation. The child may actually have autism. But I would continue to go get opinions and continue to encourage your child to work through that. But autism, they may actually have a higher level of sensitivity to certain things and they just need to be expressed. They just express themselves differently. I'm talking about ADHD. I don't think the autism diagnosis is so much abused as much as ADHD. See, if a parent tells a child they have this thing and then the child acts out this thing, then the child can display those symptoms when the child goes to get diagnosed, and the doctor has no problem giving you what you think your child has because whatever. You think they got ADHD? Fine. Got the shit, check, 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 ADHD. They know the game. They know the game. They getting paid. You about to collect a check for your kid. Your kid ain't gonna never see the money. It's a game. I hate to say it, but it's a game. Every time man, look, I went into this classroom talking to these kids, and this one kid who had a seeker, this kid was like, "Oh, can I have a PC?" And the seeker was like, "No, you cannot." I was like, "Ma'am, can you let him speak?" I said, "What do you get out of having a PC?" "I get to play the video game. I love coding." I said, "I bet you really smart, aren't you?" "Yes, I'm really good at coding. It's just people don't let me do what I know how to do." I said, "I understand. I understand you very well. What is it that this game gives you?" "It gives me attention." I said, "Good. What else does it give you?" "It lets me try again." I said, "Yes, it does let you try again, doesn't it?" I said, "Does the game ever give up on you?" "No." I said, "How many times can you play?" "As long as I got energy." I said, "The video game sounds like the perfect parent, doesn't it?" "Yes, if only my mom was like that." Boom! That kid don't have ADHD. That kid wants attention. The video games are the perfect parent. The video game gives the child everything that a parent should give a child. If a child loses in a video game, guess how long they're reminded of that loss? 3 to 5 seconds. Unless if you're playing Fortnite, you could play Fortnite or Call of Duty or any of these games. How many times can you respawn? Over and over and over again. If the video games don't make you feel bad for failing, why do parents? But then all of a sudden, parents want to command their child's attention and then wonder why the 10-year-old boy in Michigan deleted his parent, why the alleged special ed kid whose teacher took the video game from him. You do understand by giving them these video games, you're giving them an addiction. The definition of addiction is a dysregulated nervous system seeking homeostasis or regulation and using an external means to find regulation. What's that external means? The games you kept giving them. You're regulating their behavior, but then you want to take that video game away and you wonder why your kid is mad. You gave them the addiction. You gave them the blue magic. You gave them that pure quality heroin. You gave them that pure quality heroin. Shot it straight in the vein since they were a kid. And now when they 10, 11, and 12, you now want to command their attention. You don't have it. That's why you have to default to hitting them because that's all you got left. I am for the child. I speak what the child really wants to say because you can't beat my ass. I'll be back. I'm just saying. Does that make sense? So instead, you got to inch your way back into your child's life. You can't just go cold on the sparrow. Apparently, you've never dealt with an addiction specialist. An addiction specialist will tell you you can't just immediately pull it right away. It has to happen in moderation. It has to happen in steps, slowly but surely. How about do things they actually like to do? Let me give you a suggestion. The Casey Life Skills Test. I just suggested this to one of my clients today. The Casey Life Skills Test. The Casey Life Skills Test. If you go online and just Google Casey Life Skills Test. I got you, Rami. Casey Life Skills Test. It gives you a 21-page document, and you can download it. A free document. A 21-page document of things you can actually test whether your child actually knows how to do. And if they say yes, ask them to show you how to do it. If they don't know how to do it, you got things you can work on together. These are the life skills they need to know at a minimum to at least be able to do over 50% of the things they need to do in life independently. It's called the Casey, Casey, Life Skills Test. If you tap the link in the bio and you register for the free online Zoom parenting class, I am giving you that document along with other resources for free. The parenting class is for free. I intend on giving you all tools that will help you reconnect and do your jobs better. Because the boys are, the girls, okay, but the boys are definitely failing. Why? We are not taught certain things by our parents. And it's not our parents' fault all the way. They aren't taught to teach. They aren't taught to teach. They are not taught to teach. Raise, okay, but you raise cattle, you teach children. So when a parent says, I raised you, yeah, you might have raised me, but did you teach me? You raise cattle, you teach children. Children are not cattle. Children have to be taught. That's why teachers are called teachers and not raisers. Yes, that's okay. You raise cattle, you teach children. Okay, I'm a difference of opinion, Robin Hood Trey. You said, thank you. I've been telling my wife to stop babying her kids. I believe in, you said, I believe in sparing the rod. What does that mean? Because it's kind of like you're saying the same thing. I've been telling my wife to stop babying her kids. Well, how old are these kids you're referring to? And what stage of development are they at? Does that make sense? I think that, here we go. If any of you in here are boy moms, you said 6, 9, and 9, they're still at certain stages where it's still important to have those conversations without shame. So it depends on what babying looks like. You said your son is 3? Oh, Taylor, keep going. Taylor, keep going. You good. Taylor, exposure comes before comprehension. Okay? Exposure comes before comprehension. Expose your child to certain things they need to know early and often. I have my child say the thing. My children, my youngest two, I am a learner. I love education. So I'm going to say to you this oath. And then, like I said, those are things that I'll be giving in the parenting sessions and stuff like that. Let me get back to it. I am a learner. I love education. Education must be rigorous. Education must be relevant. Educators must build relationships before learning happens. Tell me, I won't remember. Teach me, I will remember. Involve me, I will learn. For in life, when you are not there, I will either win or learn. I know that so there's a whole oath that we go through every day. My girls, both of my youngest two, 5 years old. Sorry, 6 years old now. They're both 6. And they know it just like that. Think I'm lying? Here we go. Because I'll tell people, sometimes people say stuff and it's cap. Sometimes people say stuff and it's like, yeah, okay, you saying that. Are you really real? Did you really? I'm going to let you hear it from them. I am a learner. I love education. Education must be rigorous. Education must be relevant. Educators must build relationships before learning happens. Tell me, I won't remember. Teach me, I will remember. Involve me, I will learn. Here we go. Exposure. Exposure comes before. You all here? Comprehension. 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 I like me. I like me. I love me. I love me. I have value. I matter. There is me in a team. You say it. Okay, you say it, I'll say it. Go. You and I. You and I. She wanted to teach me. Are a team. If you allow me, we can fix everything. If you allow me, we can fix everything. What's the next one? I am a learner. Can okay. You still hear her? Oh no, you did good. No, you didn't mess up. You did good. Okay. Ava, you wanna lead it? I am a learner. You wanna lead it? Okay, go ahead and lead it. Go ahead and lead it. I am a learner. I love education. Education. Must be rigorous. Education must be rigorous. The next one, relevant. Go ahead. Education must be relevant. Okay, what's up? You go do the next one. Go ahead. Educators. Educators. Must what? Must build relationships before learning happens. Start with tell me. Tell me. I won't remember. Good. What's the next one? Teach me. I will remember. Involve me. I will learn. For in life, when you are not there, I will either win or learn. Yay! Come on, Ava. You did good. That's how you learn. Yeah. She messed up. She messed up. That's what I do. And the thing is, I was saying it over and over and over. Exposure comes before comprehension. You can't wait until the kids can speak to you for you to start teaching them. You got to expose them to this stuff early. We as human beings are the collections of 5 things: needs, education, experiences, habits, and motivations. It's the habits that you got to work on. They got to be in the habit of hearing it. So it becomes, for in life, when you are not there, guess what I'm teaching them? One day I will die. Come on, bro. I don't want them to be attached to me unhealthily, if that's a word. I want them to be attached to me where they can disconnect if I go. Like they're hurt by it, but they're not captive to where they can't move forward, because humans die. I don't want you to attach to me like that. That's an unhealthy attachment. Never love anything so hard you lose yourself. Never love anything so hard you lose yourself. For in life, when I'm not there, you will either win or learn. You'll never lose. We don't lose. You learn. You learn because there's a lesson in this. Come on now. You win or you learn. I'm just saying, you win or you learn. We don't lose in this. We win or we learn. Okay? All right. What are your final thoughts before I go ahead and crash out? Because I got to get up in the morning. Got to make a long drive and stuff. Yeah. I'm saving this live. I'm saving this live. If you want to get the repeat of this live, go over to my, I have three YouTube channels actually. Go over to my Dad, I Wish I Knew. Dad, I Wish I Knew. That's my YouTube channel. All of these lives, I'll be pushing over there. So that way I could take it. You can go over there, watch it again. All of these lives, let's make that channel blow up. Not Mike, I Wish I Knew. Dad, I Wish I Knew. That's what the YouTube page is called. Dad, I Wish I Knew. Like, Dad, I Wish I Knew these things. That's what it's called. Dad, I Wish I Knew. So, go over to that YouTube page, please, if you don't mind. If you like it, cool, subscribe, all that great stuff. And I'll be pushing that content over to that page because I want to put it on my Instructor Mike page. But people follow me for firearms and stuff. Dad, I Wish I Knew is the page I'm trying to build up. So I'm going to push all this content over there because there's a lot of stuff that we wish we knew. Okay? Things that could have saved you from a lot of unnecessary mistakes. Thank you, Trill. I appreciate you. A lot of unnecessary mistakes. See, there are necessary mistakes that we have made. Taylor, I appreciate you. Okay? There are necessary mistakes that we have made. But then there are, I just requested to follow you back, Taylor. There are unnecessary mistakes that we have made. Necessary mistakes and unnecessary mistakes. Failure that's a part of success in the learning process, those are necessary failures. You don't have to create children yet. Who told you you had to create children? I just had a beautiful conversation with my two anger management clients who are both husband and wife. And I got more that are signed up. Who said you had to have children? You don't have to have children just yet. It's okay. You have to reject societal notions that will shame you for not meeting certain standards of the culture when if you fail to meet them, they aren't going to support you. You don't. Come on, that's a whole nother conversation. I don't got time. I gotta go to sleep. I gotta drive in the morning. You matter. You matter. Please, I urge you. I encourage you. And hopefully, I've educated you enough. And I'm going to keep on doing it to resist the urge to shame yourself. Do not let people shame you. What is shame? A feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. Somebody else gave you the shame they have and taught you to shame yourself. For who is responsible for giving you the consciousness of the self at first? Your parents, your family, your environment. Once you learn to redefine things as they are, not as you've been taught, I hope that you can stop shaming yourself so you can develop the will to want to learn. The will to want to keep living. The will to live your life for you. Your life is yours. Your life was not given to you for you to live it for someone else. Your life was given to you for you to live it for you. You cannot help someone if you haven't found you. So it is my sincere hope that you are encouraged through all of this to find you. So when you find you, no one can shame you. No one can humiliate you or distress you because your conscience is made stronger. The feeling that you feel of yourself is stronger. You can resist societal unreasonable expectations. You can resist cultural expectations that cultivate conflict. And you may be able to even take the higher road of giving grace to your family while still evolving yourself. I hope you found value in this. I hope you found value in this. Okay. You can watch this whole replay tomorrow. Not tonight. Tomorrow. You can watch this whole replay on Dad I Wish I Knew. Okay. Please like, subscribe, all that great stuff. Love y'all. Serious. Okay. And we're going to go live there on YouTube there some more. Like, I want to bounce between TikTok and bring you all over to that page so that we can have that discussions here and there, here and there, here and there. Love y'all. I hope you all have a good night.